Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to go over a news article that I found. It's a pretty interesting one. It involves a critical cybersecurity issue affecting the industrial networks worldwide. So, the title of the article is 15,000 plus Fourth Faith routers exposed to new exploit due to default credentials. Yeah, very high severity vulnerability. It's identified as CVE 2024 12856. This has been discovered in specific Fourth router models, leading to active exploitation in the wild. The Fourth F3X24 and F3X36 are industrial-grade wireless routers that provide reliable and secure data transmission over cellular networks, and they're the ones that have this dangerous vulnerability. These devices are critical to keeping communications active between the internet and the industrial network, meaning most of, or if not all of the traffic can be routed through this one device to reach the internet or other industrial networks that it also communicates with. Data from Census shows that there are over 15,000 internet-facing devices with this vulnerability. This particular vulnerability has a CVSS score of 7.2. So this is a very serious vulnerability because of how easy it is to exploit and what you could do post-exploitation. To get into the specifics of the vulnerability, it allows attackers to inject and execute arbitrary OS-level commands on the router remotely. This is allowed to happen due to improper input validation and sanitization of user input. More specifically, the /apply.cgi endpoint or URL on the web interface of the router. Normally, for this attack to be able to happen, the attacker has to authenticate themselves on the device in order to access this /apply.cgi endpoint. However, many of these routers were deployed with default credentials, which can often be left unchanged by whoever is installing them. Because of this oversight, the attackers were able to bypass the authentication barrier very easily. What makes this vulnerability especially so critical is that this injection can be done remotely over HTTP, which is a necessary service for running web services. This type of attack allows for the attacker to create a reverse shell connection which can give attackers persistent access to the device. It is interesting to note that the IP address from which these attacks came from have attacked Fourth Faith routers in the past in 2019, involving CVE 2019 12168. There is also some evidence that the attackers have had access to this network as early as November of 2024. With this type of vulnerability, attackers could completely control and take over the router and monitor all network traffic that comes in and out of the industrial network. Attackers can then use the information gained from all this network traffic to take over other sections of the network after breaching such a critical device in the infrastructure.